Hello, magical beings. So yesterday we just started a new castle cycle, the Yellow Southern Castle of Giving, with the Wavespell of the Red Earth. For those of you who are new here, my name is Andra, and through these videos you'll be learning about the code, structure, and philosophy of the Dreamspell calendar based on the ancient Mayan calendar that helps us map out galactic cycles, which are perfectly synchronized with the cycles of our inner being, since we are a part of this universe. To get on track with what we're exploring today, you can watch the video The Structure of the Tzolk'in for a detailed description about one of the two calendars within the Dreamspell. For more information about what wave spells are, you can watch the video The Structure of Wave Spells. And also for more details about castles, which are basically made out of 4 sets of wave spells, you can watch the video The 5 Destiny Castles. This is how the Red Earth wave spell looks like, passing through the gateways and towers from the red magnetic earth until the red cosmic moon. So we've just finished a super intense castle cycle, the Blue Western Castle of Burning, and I don't know how it was for you guys, but the reason I am late with this video is because since the Blue Spectral Eagle, I was asked to really take it slow and to focus more on being rather than doing, and integrating all that has come to me in this past castle cycle. So this was the theme for these past days, taking it slow, because I can sometimes have a really fast-paced rhythm. And just in society, when we look, our lives nowadays are like this fast-paced treadmill run that we keep doing. And we glorify exhaustion and focusing all on work, and we have no time for anything else. And this is reinforced by the theme song, Time is Money, that is kind of like the theme song of the globalist and consumerism doctrine. So when we just stop and we choose to take it slow, to rest, to disconnect from the rhythm of the world, we begin to see what's missing. And this is exactly what the Red Earth archetype invites us to do, to slow down, to become the witness, and to just be. And I also want to point out that the Yellow Seed, the archetype of the previous wave spell, and the Red Earth are actually hidden powers of one another. So Red Earth, or Kaban by its Mayan name, is actually the embodiment of presence, which makes sense when, we think about slowing down and just being. Those moments ask us to just be present. Red Earth teaches us how to live in the here and now, letting go of judgments about good or bad, right or wrong, past or future, or any type of preconceptions we might have about what should be, what should happen, what we should do, how we should behave. It's a very grounding energy that helps us become totally aware of the present moment. It helps us dissolve all our distorted emotions and mental conditionings that are keeping us from being present. Because being present doesn't only mean being present with our body, our emotions, our environment, our breath. Being present also means not allowing our past experiences to influence how we act in the present moment, which is the perfect description of what we so naturally do as human beings. Our brain itself is a mechanism that stores past events to know how to act in the present moment and maybe anticipate the future. Our past shapes who we are today, How we look at our past, consciously as well as unconsciously, influences how we approach life. It influences our personality, our habits, our emotional response to our experiences, even the chemicals released by our bodies that are triggered by positive or stressful events. So we have a bad experience in the past, and then we keep dragging that past experience into our present situation, distorting the truth of the present. So it's super important to understand how our past influences how we behave in the present. Otherwise, we're just living life on autopilot, responding automatically to our daily situations based on the traumas of the past that are stored within our subconscious mind. For example, let's say someone has been emotionally abused as a child and he would be punished whenever he'd make a mistake. As an adult, that child, whenever he finds himself making a mistake, he's going to feel the same horror he felt as a child, feeling as if he's a horrible person, and maybe he'll even enter into self-punishing mode to keep others from being angry at him for making that mistake, when in fact in the present moment maybe nobody considered what he had done to be a mistake in the first place. But this person will react based on the trauma of the past that made him believe that he's a bad person for making mistakes. Or let's say someone was traumatized to believe that he isn't worthy to receive love, and this is because he didn't receive the love he needed as a child. That person will most likely develop low self-esteem or even self-hatred in their adult life, always looking at life and their relationships through the lens of I'm unworthy of love, which can make them either very shy and afraid to get too close to people so as to not reveal themselves and risk being rejected by others, or it can make them settle for less than what they want in relationships, allowing others to take advantage of them and getting in some very toxic interactions because they feel that they aren't worth more than this, or maybe they actually think that this is something that they deserve because they're so unworthy. Anyway, this is one of the shadows of the red earth, getting caught up in a world of illusions created through our past experiences, distorting the truth of the present moment. So for me, Red Earth has been a lot about this, revealing all the scars of my past that are distorting my present. But present isn't actually an easy state to be in. It brings to the surface all of our emotions, patterns, blockages, even the ones we might repress. Many spend their life searching for the experience of true presence, but when they find it, they run away because it's such an intense and scary state to be in without compassion, forgiveness, and love in our hearts. In the shadows, the Red Earth can actually develop a fear of being present, and he's going to distract himself through the abundance of means to do so that are available in this world. Movies, books, overworking, meaningless and trivial conversation, alcohol, drugs. Also, he can use his mind in order to avoid dealing with the present. In Chinese medicine, when the earth element within our body gets imbalanced, this can lead to overthinking. So the red earth can spend a lot of time in his mind, dwelling in the past, melancholically reliving his life, or he can spend a lot of time imagining his future, planning it, dreaming it. Or he can spend a lot of time overthinking, worrying, analyzing all the things that could go wrong in a situation. But by doing this, he misses out on the infinite abundance of the present moment and gets caught up in a vicious cycle between past and future. Also, the red earth is the power of synchronicity. And by centering ourselves in the present, we become aware of synchronicity. And we can also interpret the guidance sent by the universe. Synchronicity happens either way. It's an ever-present reality, but only those who have eyes to see it can. Or better said, those who are present enough to see it can. We become aware of synchronicity once we are stripped of the barriers of ego and judgment that usually keep us from being present. This archetype helps us perfectly synchronize with our environment, and in fact, this is how the minds define true wisdom: a human being's ability to be in perfect sync and harmony with the world around him. I've talked in more depth about my perspective of synchronicity in the video, What is Synchronicity? But for me, synchronicity becomes present once we align with our heart and soul. And being aligned with our heart and soul means being in alignment with the universal movement. So this archetype aligns our being with the energy of the universe around us, bringing synchronicity and magic back into our life. Or sometimes Red Earth can actually point out our resistances towards the universal movement. So if you feel stuck and out of tune, find the resistances and the fears that are keeping you from surrendering to the guidance of the universe. Synchronicities are messages from your higher self and the universe to try to get your attention, to guide you back to yourself. So don't be afraid to follow the guidance sent by the universe wherever it might seem to lead you. But first, you need to ground yourself and allow yourself to hear this guidance, to hear how your whole environment is speaking to you. Red Earth also aligns us with the energy and the movement of the Earth. He reminds us that we are a part of the earth, the tiny little cells within this living and breathing organism we call home. Red Earth teaches us that if we would embrace the earth's teachings, we'd have so much wisdom, healing, and knowledge to gain. This is the last red archetype within the Tzolk'in, the final initiation. It represents the evolutionary spirit that is guiding humanity to harmonize with the biosphere. It's the initiation to understanding that we are one with the earth and we are one mind, the initiation to awakening the noospheric consciousness. For more information about what the noosphere is, you can watch the video The Noosphere. Since this energy is so deeply connected to Pachamama, how people are treating the earth can make the red earth really angry at humanity, full-on rage. But it's important to become aware that our thoughts and emotions are influencing not only us, but also the collective consciousness. So we're just adding more rage on top of the already existing anger and hatred from the collective. That's not really helpful. This is why inner work is so critical, and I keep telling people that it's kind of our duty as aware beings to do the inner work and also put out there as much love, compassion, and forgiveness as we can, because the world desperately needs it. Yes, we have every reason to be angry about how much our relationship with the earth has degraded, but instead of directing that anger out there into the world and being all like, oh, stupid humans, they're destroying this planet, they don't care, and I wish them all harm and things like that, because sometimes I've experienced people with that kind of attitude. So instead of doing all of that, we can transform this anger into the fuel we need to find the solutions to the problems instead of only focusing on the problems. Positive aggression, or sacred anger as it's called, is the energy that can seek justice for the earth and those unable to defend themselves. This sacred anger allows us to become agents of change, transforming this world in a better place for all to live in. So use your anger to identify your triggers and transform it into motivation. So this wave spell, really take the time to slow down and put your life on pause for a while. those projects can wait until this wave spell is over. It's a very good idea to just try to become more of a witness and to sit more with all of your emotions, your thoughts, and to start observing all of the small moments in your life when you're not actually present. And start asking yourself, what are the traumas of the past that you lay out over the present moment, distorting the truth of your reality? What are the fears that are keeping you from being present? Are you embracing the art of contemplation, or are you distracting yourself with anything you can? Do you live in a magical, synchronical reality where you feel your interconnectedness with everything? Or do you feel stuck and disconnected from the world? Do you follow and trust the guidance sent by the universe? Or are you having trouble listening to this guidance and figuring out what this guidance is? Are you angry at the world? What are the things that make you most angry about humanity? What can you do to transform this anger, to transmute it? So that's it for today. If there are any questions about the Dream Spell calendar, or if you're interested to get a galactic signature decoding session where we talk more about the meaning of your kin, or if you want to purchase one of the Dream Spell Orgonite pendants made by me and my boyfriend, you can send me a message either on my Facebook page or on my email. You can also watch the video Dream Spell Orgonite pendants to take a look at the creative process behind them, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. You'll find the details in the description below. Wishing you a wave spell filled with presence, and I'll see you on the next wave spell of the white dog. In Lak'Ech.